What if I told you that November is not the end of gardening, but actually the secret beginning? Sounds crazy, right? Most people pack away their tools as soon as the air gets cold. They think, that's it, gardening season is over. But what if I told you that's one of the biggest mistakes a gardener can make? Because right now, while the world is cooling down, your garden could be waking up. Imagine this rows of fresh spinach growing strong under a soft frost, garlic quietly building its roots for spring, and bright pansies adding color when everything else turns dull. Even kale, the plant most people forget about, becomes sweeter when it feels the chill. Surprised yet? You should be, because in this video, we're not just talking about a few plants, we're talking about 55 powerful crops you can plant in November that will keep your garden alive, tasty, and beautiful all winter long. So before you say goodbye to your garden, stay with me. You're about to see how November might just be your best gardening month yet. Let's start with the real backbone of November gardening, the vegetables. You might be wondering, can anything really grow when it's this cold? Oh, yes, and not just a few. There are over 24 winter vegetables waiting to fill your garden beds right now. Let's begin with the quick and easy ones. Spinach and lettuce are your first champions. Plant them once, and they'll reward you with fresh leaves all winter long. They don't just survive the cold, they enjoy it. Cool weather keeps their flavor mild and tender, perfect for salads or sandwiches. Next up, meet kale, Swiss chard, and arugula the greens that love chilly air. Here's a fun fact, kale actually gets sweeter after a frost. It's like nature adds sugar for free. Swiss chard keeps growing even when most plants give up, and arugula brings that spicy flavor that wakes up any winter meal. Now for the strong growers, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts. Wait, you thought broccoli only needed summer? Not really. It thrives in cool weather and gives tighter, tastier heads when the nights get cold. These are the vegetables that laugh at frost and stay proud through winter winds. Then we have the root heroes, mustard greens, fenugreek, turnip, radish, beetroot, carrot, and parsnip. They quietly grow underground, turning sweeter as the temperature drops. Carrots especially love the cold. That's when their starch turns into sugar, giving them that crisp, sweet crunch. Now let's talk about the slow and steady growers: onion, garlic, leeks, and celery. These crops to plant in November take their time, developing strong roots during winter so they can shoot up healthy in spring. Think of them as your garden's long-term investment. And finally, don't forget the climbers, peas, and broad beans, along with the sturdy greens like kohlrabi, collard greens, and green onions. These add variety and texture, keeping your garden alive and productive. So while everyone else is waiting for warmer days, your November garden could be growing a buffet of winter vegetables, sweet, crisp, and ready for harvest when no one else expects it. Now here's where most gardeners get surprised: herbs. Everyone assumes herbs can't handle cold, but that's not true at all. Some of the best herbs to grow in November actually thrive when the temperature drops. They bring life, flavor, and fragrance to your garden when everything else starts fading. Let's start with parsley. It might look delicate, but this little herb is a fighter. Once rooted, it laughs at frost and keeps growing fresh green leaves all winter. You can snip a few sprigs whenever you need them for soups, salads, or even smoothies. Next is cilantro or coriander. Most people think cilantro only grows in warm weather, but here's the secret: it loves cool air. In summer, it bolts too quickly, but in November, it stays calm and leafy for weeks. Dill, thyme, and sage are 3 more cold-tolerant herbs that deserve a spot in your garden. Dill grows fast and adds a bright flavor to everything, while thyme and sage stay green and aromatic even in frost. Thyme, especially, is almost unshakable. Once it's in the soil, it will stay with you through snow and rain. Now let's talk about rosemary and oregano. These two herbs can survive mild winters outdoors, but they also make perfect indoor plants. Place them near a sunny window and they'll keep your home smelling fresh all season. And don't forget mint, chives, and fennel. Mint spreads quickly, chives pop back even after freezing, and fennel brings a gentle anise aroma that feels like winter magic. So if you've been wondering what herbs to grow in November, now you know the cold isn't a problem, it's their secret weapon. So you've just seen how your dinner can still grow in the middle of winter fresh spinach, crisp carrots, and herbs that make your kitchen smell like summer. But let me ask you this, what about your view? What if I told you there are flowers that don't just survive the cold, they bloom right through it? Sounds impossible, right? But it's true. There are plants that laugh at frost, open their petals in snow, and turn a dull garden into a winter dream. Ready to see which flowers keep shining when everything else fades? Let's find out. Now that your garden is full of vegetables and herbs, let's bring in the color, the part that makes every gardener smile even on gray, chilly days. You might think flowers can't handle winter, but that's where you're wrong. Some of the most stunning blooms come alive exactly when everything else looks lifeless. Let's start with pansies and violas. These two are absolute winter stars. Their bright faces keep smiling even when the frost touches their petals. They're the kind of flowers that say, "Cold? Bring it on." Next up, sweet peas and marigolds. Sweet peas fill the air with fragrance, while the winter variety of marigolds adds a golden glow to every corner of your garden. Calendula and petunias join the list, too. Both grow strong in cool air and add warm tones that stand out against the dull winter soil. Then there's dianthus, alyssum, and snapdragons. These three bring personality to your flower beds, soft petals, bold colors, and a fragrance that instantly lifts your mood. And if you want something elegant, try stock, nemesia, or verbena flowers that bloom quietly but fill your garden with beauty that lasts. For classic charm, carnations and larkspur are perfect. They look delicate but are tougher than they seem. Sweet William and primrose will surprise you with their bright, cheerful colors even when the world feels frozen. And don't overlook chrysanthemum, dusty miller, poppy, and hollyhock. These are the fighters of winter. They bloom when most plants give up, turning a dull yard into a living painting. So, when others see winter as an ending, your garden can glow like it's spring again. These are the flowers to plant in November that will keep your space alive, colorful, and full of hope, proof that beauty doesn't stop for the cold. Most gardeners stop when November arrives. They look at the frost, the bare soil, and think it's over.
But not you.
You're different. While others wait for spring, you're creating life right now, food, color, and growth when the world looks asleep. That's your edge. That's the spirit of a real gardener. You've just discovered how powerful your garden can be, even in the coldest season. So don't stop now, because the best part of this journey is still coming. Let's wrap it up with one final push to keep your garden alive and thriving all winter long. So now you know November isn't the end of gardening, it's the start of a whole new chapter. You've discovered 55 amazing crops you can still grow right now, from leafy greens like spinach and kale, to hardy root vegetables like carrots and garlic, to cold-loving herbs and those colorful winter flowers that bloom when everything else fades. Your garden doesn't rest in winter, it transforms. Every seed you plant this month is a small act of hope, a promise that life keeps growing, even in the cold. Most people see November as a time to stop, but you're planting ahead, preparing for beauty, flavor, and freshness when others least expect it. So go ahead and make this the month your garden surprises everyone. Mix vegetables with herbs, add a few bright flowers, and watch how your backyard turns into a living winter masterpiece. Remember, the secret to gardening isn't just about the season, it's about your mindset. If this video helped you, drop in the comments and tell me which crop you're planting this November. And if you're ready to keep your garden growing strong, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned because the next video might just change the way you see your garden forever.